Okay, so part two. Sorry, got cut off and something weird happened. Write an augmented matrix, then go ahead and work towards it, right? So we have, so what are we doing, right? So this actually looks pretty good. The first column looks good. All we need to do is figure out the second column. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and do row 2 multiplied by 1/6. Okay, and that's going to get me. So 1/6 times 0 is 0. 1/6 times 6 is 1. 1/6 times negative 12 is negative 2. And you know what? That was just a one-liner, one mover. Right? Just one hit wonder. Right? We're done. We got this REF right here. So we're good. Okay? So let's see what this does. Right? So the second row says that we have y equals negative 2. And this first row, so on number 7, right? So number 7, right? So y is negative 2 right there. Okay, and the first row is 1x minus 5y equals negative 9. Right? So y equals negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put negative 2 in here, which is going to end up being x plus negative 5 and negative 2 makes positive 10 equals negative 9. If you subtract 10 from both sides, you will get x equals, wait for it, negative 19. So x is negative 19. Okay, so that's number 7 and number 9. Two birds with one stone. Right. So now the big one, right? And you guys, and we've had plenty of practice, so it's not like it's a big one. I mean, there's no problem with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and write an augmented matrix for this. So this is going to be 1, 0, negative 1, 2, 3, 0, 7, negative 1, 0, 5, 1, negative 20. Okay. Actually, I'm kind of out of space, so I'm going to go ahead and move that underneath. Okay, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, I'm going to do it like that. Okay. All right. Let's go with this. So what should I do? Well, there's already a 1 and there's already a 0 at the bottom. So all I really need to do is take care of that 3. So I'm going to go ahead and use a 1. So I'm going to go row 1 multiplied by negative 3 and then add it to row 2. Okay. So that's going to cause this to look like, let's see. So row 1. So 1 times negative 3 is negative 3 plus 3 is 0. That's what we want. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is still 0. That's fine. Negative 3 times negative 1 is 3. 3 plus 7 is 10. And negative 3 and positive 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus negative 1 is negative 7. So that's what my matrix is going to look like now. And row 1 and row 3. Okay. So I have the 1s and the 0s. And the next I need is to have a 1 right here. Unfortunately, I have a 0. Right. But I can easily fix that. Let's go and do let's swap row 2 and row 3. Okay. There might be other ways. Actually there isn't. Right. So let's swap row 2, swap it with row 3. And row 3, swap it with row 2. Okay. So that's gonna get me. So row 3 is now row 2, so I'm gonna write that down as 0, 5, 1, negative 20. And then 0, 0, 10, negative 7. and then 1, 0, negative 1, 2. Okay, so now I'm looking at this, and I'm going to go ahead and now I need to switch the 5 into a 1, right? And you can do it. You can do something cool, but actually there's nothing else you can do. There's no cool thing to do here. So only thing to do is take row 2, and we're going to go ahead and multiply by 1/5. Okay, so that's going to give me, so 0 times 1/5 is 0. That's fine. 5 times 1/5 is 1. 1 times 1/5 is 1/5. Not pretty, but you know what? So what? Negative 20 times 1/5 is negative 4. Use the calculator if you're not sure about your fractions. Okay, row 1 and row 3. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Okay, now I already have the 0 below it, so I just need that 10 to become a 1. Right, so what should I do? Well, take row 3, multiply by 1/10. Okay, so that's going to get me here. Try not to confuse myself. I'm just going to look at one matrix. So row 3 by 1/10. So 0 times 1/10 is 0. 0 times 1/10 is 0. 10 times 1/10 is 1. Negative 7 times 1/10 is negative 7/10. Okay, that's the best we got. Can't do anything else with that. Okay, we got 0, row 2, and row 1. Okay, so now we know that this answer is going to be z equals negative 7 out of 10. So negative 7/10. Okay, and this answer is going to be y plus 1/5 z equals negative 4. And we know z is negative 7 out of 10. Okay, so we actually have y plus 1/5 times negative 7 out of 10 equals negative 4. Okay, and what does all that make? I'm going to leave a little space here. So we will have, and I'm going to go ahead and start down here. So we have y minus, because a positive times a negative is a negative, 7 out of 50 equals negative 4. Man, I really hope I didn't mess up anywhere. Right? So if you guys saw that I messed up somewhere and you couldn't tell me because I'm not live, you know what? That's just how the internet works, right? That's how life is. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish this up by adding 7/50. So y is going to equal, and what is negative 4 over 1, invisible. And we're going to add it to 7 over 50. Okay, so we need a common denominator of 50. So times 50 times 50, which you're really going to get negative 4 times 5 is 20 with an extra 0, so 200 over 50 plus 7 over 50. So 200 minus 7 is going to be negative 193 over 50. Okay, so that's what y is. Y is going to be negative 193 out of 50. Whew. You know what? I think I made a mistake. Let me double check. Okay. Let me double check. Okay. This is what you need to do if you make a mistake. So x, so 1, 0, negative 1, 2. That's fine. I'm checking if I wrote the augmented matrix now. 3, 0, 7, negative 1. Yep. 0, 5, 1, negative 2. Okay, so augmented matrix is right. Negative 3 times row 1 plus row 2. So, yep, that'd be 0. Negative 3 times 0 is 0, plus 0 is 0. Yep. Negative 3 and negative 1 is 3. 3 plus 7 is going to be 10. Yep. And 2 and negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 1 more, negative 1 more is negative 7. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let me see the next part. So I'm swapping row 2 and row 3, and I'm going to double check, make sure I wrote everything right, correctly. Okay, so everything is correct. Swap row 2, row 3. Okay, so let me see. 1, 0, negative 1, 2, and then the middle is going to be 0, 5, 1, negative 20, and the bottom is going to be 0, 0, 10, negative 7. Okay, so that's fine. Then we go 1/5 of row 2, so yeah, that looks good. And then see if I copy everything else correctly. Yep. And we're going to go 1/10 of row 1. Row 3, excuse me. Yeah, everything looks good. So I guess, I mean, this is the way it is. All right, so we're going to do the last one. So this last one, I'm going to go and do this. So this is 1x. So this is just x plus, hey, lucky, no y. And we do get a z, though. So it's actually minus z. So x minus z equals 2. And the z, since there's no y, because y is that big ugly number, but luckily we didn't get to use it. But z is negative 7 over 10. So negative 7 over 10. So we have a x, and minus is a positive 7 over 10 equals 2. And then we're going to have to subtract 7 over 10 from both sides. Okay, and this is how you deal with the fractions. So you get x equals, I'm going to write it down here, 2 minus 7 over 10. And I'm going to do this on the side. Well, we can do it right here. So we write this as 2 over 1 minus 7 over 10. Common denominator of 10. So times it by 10. Times it by 10. And we get x equals 2 times 10 is 20 over 10 minus 7 over 10, which means x is equal to 20 minus 7 is 13 over 10. So that's what my x is, 13 over 10. Okay, that's it. Okay, not that I don't like fractions. I love fractions. I mean, I could do anything with fractions. But just usually, I'm not even sure why I would do that. So, okay. All right. Right. We can call it a day.